The following is paid for by Family House. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
You know, this is a day off for your Pratte Pack, but it's worth coming in for this hour because of all of the things that I'm about to tell you. But for my love of polo and Family House, and then talking to Sarah Surace and John Plant, did a little video in the boardroom before the show. I find out some other names like Hadi Hanna and Mr. Raja, who co-hosted a show with me here for years, and Robbie Cochran and others are a big part of this. So it's old home week for me, and I'm so happy to be here with these two tonight. And you can see this entire hour stream live, and you can hear it too by going to kdkradio.com and clicking on KDKA Watch. First off, let's say hello to Sarah Surace. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. John Plant is here. It's good to have him in the building too. And John, we're going to begin with you talking about the history of Family House and the great mission that you all continue to this day. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Rob. Family House is an extraordinarily special place. It's been around for 42 years, founded in 1983 by a group of healthcare professionals and community leaders who saw a need for people who were coming to Pittsburgh for really serious medical treatment at our world-class healthcare facilities, but did not have a place to stay and be comfortable and safe. And those people got together and began to build Family House. It opened in 1983, originally in one former fraternity house on the old Pitt campus, an old fraternity house on the Pitt campus, and then another one. And then it grew from there over the years and has, just continued to grow and provide a place of comfort, caring, compassion for people at a really, really tough time in their lives, perhaps the toughest time they're ever going to face in their lives.
You realize what this does for a family to have this type of comfort when everything else is swirling around them and it's not good, but to be able to plop down and have a place you feel wanted and at home?
Well, we sure do. And Sarah, I think, will attest to that because we meet them every day when they come into the house from all over the Commonwealth, every state in the Union. We've served guests from over 77 countries in our history, 18 countries last year, Amazing. Which is a testament to the healthcare systems that we have here in Pittsburgh, one-of-a-kind healthcare in a lot of ways, and we're able to provide that kind of support for both the patients who stay with us, but also their loved ones, whether it's a family member or a friend, spouse, parent, son, daughter, who stay with us. And we do see it every day, and we realize how important it is. And one of the founding pillars, if you will, of Family House was that it had to be affordable. They could stay in any hotel. Right. It had to be affordable and it had to be different. And so we work very, very hard to keep it affordable because people give up jobs to come when they travel afar for health care. And so we work really hard at that. We offer discounts, but we're just different. I mean, we're different than a hotel. And there's lots of things that make us different. But one of the things that really makes us different is every one of our guests, or whether it's a patient or a loved one, they're all there with a common purpose. They're all facing the same thing. Mm-hmm. People staying in a hotel, they're there for 200 different reasons on any given night. Right. And so community gets built. And that's one of the things that makes us really special.
Yeah, they can lean on each other a little bit.
They do lean on each other. And that's one of the great things when we were able in 2022 to consolidate all of our operations from 4 different sites into one. We had the opportunity to purchase the old Courtyard by Marriott. Wasn't that old, but Courtyard by Marriott in Shadyside, Bloomfield, there across from Shadyside Hospital, and everyone's under one roof now.
That's fantastic.
And the community that we see built at breakfast, at dinner. They cook together. They do puzzles together. It's a powerful, powerful environment of support for these people who are, again, facing a really tough time.
And very accessible, too, the location as far as the city is concerned, too. And that's even a better thing that we're looking at here.
It is, and we get great support from our healthcare partners, because we have people who, we tend to have guests who are not local, so they come from around the Commonwealth, but also all the contiguous states, and then every state in the Union. So our healthcare partners are absolutely amazing. UPMC, AGH, the Veterans Administration in providing transportation for our guests to get to and from their appointments.
Logistics, right.
So they can come back at the end of the day and relax and, again, have that comfort that they're in a safe place.
And we're going to get into some of the statistics, which are staggering, the amount of people that they take care of. We're going to talk about some of the amenities there. But the main reason we're here tonight, talk about the 42nd annual polo match, and we're going to get to that, too, before we take our first break. But this is a testament, John and Sarah, to the healthcare facilities that we have in Pittsburgh, that people come from all over the world to seek healthcare here. So I tell people all the time, crown jewel, the best of the best, 5-star. I mean, these are the best worldwide.
That's absolutely true, and that's one of the sort of the founding tenets. Our timing, the timing of the group who founded Family House was really fortuitous because it was right around the time that Tom Starzl came to Pittsburgh and brought his transplant organization, research and surgery organization to Pittsburgh, and he was one of the founding medical members of Family House. So Family House really began as a place for primarily for transplant patients because it was very difficult. They had to be in the hospital. So Family House was the first place in the world that people who were here for transplant, particularly heart-lung, so who had interventional machinery, they could be released to Family House and stay with us while they were awaiting transplant. And Tom Starzl was key in that, and UPMC. And UPMC continues to be, I like to say, it's the center of the world for transplant.
Absolutely.
Research, surgery, it really is.
Here's the other thing, too. Dr. Bernie Cohen, who's no longer here.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very supportive of Family House.
Yes, a dear friend, was there with Mr. Starzl, Sarah, and John early on, and he would tell me these stories, and I'd make him repeat them over and over to me. It's an amazing story, Thomas Starzl.
It really is, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention, Joel Enninger was truly. He was the head of the forerunner to UPMC, if you will, and he had been involved in the founding of the Ronald McDonald House in New York when he was working there.
Yep.
And he came here and saw we have the same need, and he gathered all these resources, these individuals, Frank Fuhr, I could go down the list.
Yeah.
It would take me all evening.
Connect the dots.
Who all pitched in to make this happen, but Joel was at the center of it all.
I've said for the longest time, you two, we are all standing on the shoulders of giants. It's
That's
amazing.
why you can see into the distance.
Absolutely. And it looks good because you're here, and we're going to talk about this polo match when we come back. Some other great things that you need to know. But remember, familyhouse.org/polo. Get those tickets September 6th, Hartwood Acres. If you've never witnessed it, you're in for a treat. You're going to absolutely love it. We'll come back with more with Family House in just a couple of minutes on KDKA with your Pratte Pack.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, back with Sarah Suresh and John Plant, Family House, familyhouse.org/polo. Sarah, before we get back into some of the other things with John, let's talk a little bit about this event because that's really why you're here tonight. 42nd year. This is an incredible event. So why don't you fill us in? Go ahead.
Yeah, so it started back when Family House started, and it has grown immensely since then. So not only would you see a polo match with horses and the whole real deal, we have a number of sponsor tents and guests and patrons who come and bring their tents, and we have tailgating, everything from ice sculptures and chandeliers to just a sub ring from Subway. We have food trucks. We have a children's tent. We have a sip-in shop. We have live music. You name it, it's kind of there. And it really is just such a huge part of who Family House is. One of our original founders is connected to one of the polo teams that still travels to us from Maryland every year. And the proceeds benefit the families that John's been talking about and the families that we support. And so it really is just, a hallmark event every fall in Pittsburgh.
So John told me earlier, born in California, spent time in Cincinnati, wife from Pittsburgh, father-in-law, former police chief Clareton. So he has lived an incredible life. But you have to admit, there's nothing like a polo match. Come on. You think a Steelers tailgate is big? This is huge.
Well, like Sarah, polo was my first go-around last year, and I had never been to a polo match. And it was one of the most fun days I've ever spent. To get 3,000 people up to Heartwood Acres, to just have fun, but to celebrate this mission was awesome.
Yeah, it's quite a transformation. If you're familiar with Heartwood Acres, we use one of the parking areas for the amphitheater. And we start next Tuesday with an empty field. And by Saturday, we have 40-some tents, 600 parking spaces on the field, horses, and the whole thing. It really is just such a unique thing. And everybody's just so happy. It's just such a nice time to bring people together and celebrate, but also, give back to these families that, just have such compelling, touching stories.
And there are two athletes, one in the saddle and one with four legs. This, honestly, you have to be so athletic to be able to do what these riders do. It's phenomenal. All right, let's get back to some of the statistics to give people an idea of the kind of numbers that you're dealing with when it comes to Family House. John.
Sure. We, as Sarah said, or I said, we started out in 1983 with one house, then two houses, and then we were kind of moving around a little bit in some different spaces. We had space on the Pitt campus at University Place. Then we eventually settled in a space that UPMC very generously gave to us, which is just adjacent to where we are now in Shadyside.
Okay.
But we do about 35,000 reservation nights a year. That will encompass about 12,000 different unique families. The average stay is about 3 nights. But we have guests who are with us for months at a time if they're here for transplant or long-term care. As I said earlier, they're from all 50 states, 77 countries since 1983. So we've had about 250,000 unique patients and guests stay with us in that time. Room nights, we think we're creeping up to the 1 million mark since our founding in terms of room nights. I wish our file keeping from the early days was a little better than the paper files we had, but we're pretty certain that sometime in the next year and a half, we will hit that 1 million room night mark for people coming to Pittsburgh for treatment.
Listen, this isn't your life, but you've had an incredible journey. You've done a lot of amazing things and the connections to various universities and what have you. What really made you want to be a part of Family House?
So I retired from Duquesne University after 16 years in 2021, and I realized pretty quickly I wasn't done, and I thought I really wanted to do something closer to the people being served. That's not a knock on higher education, but universities are big. When you're in the administration, you're not that close to the students, at least in the role that I played.
Boots on the ground. You want to be out there.
I knew Rennie Clark. I'd known him for a long time. He was the board chair at the time. We had done a couple things together while he was at Pitt and I was at Duquesne. And Family House just seemed like the perfect fit. And so it pretty quickly came together in 2023, and I've been there since, and it is the greatest decision I've ever made in my life professionally.
I can totally understand why. Sir, I got to ask you, you could have pretty much done anything with your young career, a lot of room to grow because you're off to a great start, but why Family House for you?
I think I kind of hit that realization of looking for fulfillment earlier in my career. I also spent most of my career so far in higher ed, and I just was feeling disconnected. And so to come to an organization like Family House and seek funds and support for the families and the services that we provide, it just makes a world of difference. I drive about an hour to get there. And so many people are like, oh my God, why do you drive so far? And I'm like, it's worth it for this. Like, I don't know that I would do it for something else, but to meet the families and hear the stories. And, you know, you hear from patients who are in the hospital who say that they feel more at ease knowing that their family is so close. Like, it just is such an impactful place to be that it really is just so fulfilling, even when it's, you know, this time of year when polo's happening and there's a million fires to put out and a ton of things happening. It still makes it worth it.
Yeah. Sarah can tell you, I keep a big candy dish on the little conference table we have in our office. And this week, there was a mom who's undergoing cancer treatment. She's there with her 2 twin 3-year-olds in the hallway, and they were trying to figure out how to use the vending machine that was right outside my office. And I said, forget the vending machine. Come on in. And we had Halloween in our office with our kids. Well, they must have gone up and told all the other parents who had young kids, and they all came down, that's why it's there. And that's what makes Family House different. It's what makes it different than anything I've ever done, because you are, you become family.
There's not many jobs, and I feel that I have one here, and it's one of the reasons why I keep doing it, because I could have retired. I love it because you can actually make a difference in someone's life or be around when things are happening for someone, good or bad. You can be a part of that, and you can actually do something to make it a better experience.
Well, that's what we hope for. It's not so much what we do, but what Family House facilitates for people, and the environment that all of us together, all 60 of us together, full-time, part-time, and we read the surveys of how the guests talk about our staff. Our staff is amazing. And it's, so in addition to, the things that make us different from a hotel, people feel loved when they come to Family House. They feel loved.
And I think all of our staff do it in their own way and in their role. And, one of the things I really appreciate by the staff who do the reservations, when they can, it's not always possible. If somebody calls and says, I got the best news of my treatment in room 502, they'll try to put them back in that room if they can.
Wow.
I mean, it's not always possible, but everybody takes it so personal. And even the front desk who are helping people check in and the housekeeping staff and our breakfast concierge gets to know everybody. It really is that personal level that makes it so different.
It's about the little things that make a big difference.
It
like
is.
the candy dish.
Next time you can give us 10 hours, we could tell you stories that would fill that time about every different type of staff member who's made a huge impact. And volunteers, I cannot forget the volunteers. We have thousands of volunteers over the 40 years, but hundreds of volunteers each year who make it their business to make sure that our guests feel safe, cared for, and again, loved.
All right, we're going to take a break. We got 2 more segments, and we're going to get right back to it and talk about the polo match coming up at Heartwood Acres on September the 6th. You're definitely going to want to be a part of it. FamilyHouse.org// if you will, polo. Sarah Suresh, John Plant, Family House with your Pratte Pack. More to come. Pittsburgh Works after the news, 2 minutes away. KDKA.
The following is paid for by Family House.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, familyhouse.org/polo. It's happening September 6th at the beautiful Heartwood Acres, their 42nd annual polo match. Sarah, fill in some more information people need to know, some of the things that are going to be happening. And then, I do that little cooking show, and I love cooking videos, and I love kitchens. Wait till we talk about the amenities that they have at Family House. You're going to love it. So go ahead, Sarah, fill us in.
Yeah, so I've touched on some of it. Some other things to know that are happening at Polo. We have a vintage car show. The Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix and some of the other local car clubs come and are involved. So if that's your interest, you can kind of peruse the cars. We also have an area called Sip and Shop where we have a number of vendors come in to sell things from fascinators like you would wear to the Kentucky Derby. This year we have a permanent jewelry vendor coming in, which is really popular. We have a cigar vendor this year. We have a mobile bar coming in. So we're going to have a mimosa bar, a Bloody Mary bar, everything you need for a good time. And then really important to us, we have a silent auction, and that actually will be live before the event next week. But we have everything in the silent auction from kids baskets, hotel stays with gift cards if you want to do a date night in the city. We have a ton of signed sports memorabilia this year. We have a Carlson jersey. We have some Cam Hayward stuff. We have tickets to 2 different Pens games. We have Steelers tickets. We also have some vacation stays. So, we have a Colorado condo that's always really popular, an OBX Outer Banks house. Some other trips will be on there too. And really, it's just such a fun time. My coworker likes to say that you're at polo and you see all these parties happening, and then you look up and there's horses playing polo in the field while there's parties happening all around it. And if you want to come, general admission parking is free. Tickets are $50. So if you just want to come and see it and not do the whole tailgate and commit to the whole thing, it's really not a bad price.
And I just want to say to everyone listening, you're all invited to the executive director's tent on the south side of the field for refreshments and food. Please come and say hello.
Listen,
I read the number earlier, but I don't remember what spot you're in right now.
I know I'm on the south side of the field, and I've got a big flag that says Family House.
Yeah. Listen,
so you'll find us.
On our script that I'm holding in my hand, if you're watching this stream live in the Metropolitan Window video screen, I've got through every question, but the one question I think everybody is wanting me to ask, and I'm going to do it right now, how can we step up and donate to Family House?
Sure. There are a number of ways. First of all is advocacy. Mm-hmm. Make sure that people know about Family House. We have people who come from outside the area. We want anybody who's coming here for medical treatment, and our healthcare partners do a great job of this, but a lot of times it's short notice. People are coming into Pittsburgh for the first time. So if you know of anybody like that, point them toward us because we've got a place for them. We've got a place where they can be safe and taken care of. So that's one thing. Obviously, as a nonprofit, we rely on about half of our revenue from charitable giving. So we, of course, welcome all of you listening to support Family House in any way that you can. You will join a great group of philanthropists who have made this organization possible for the last 42 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I get 83 and 42 confused. 42 years. And because we're continually striving to make Family House better it's all about the guest experience. We want our guests to continually to have a great experience when they can, as great as it can be, because we always remember if they had their choice, they wouldn't be at Family House.
Absolutely.
Right? So we want to make sure that, anything we can do to make this time in their life better, and however you can help us. Another way is volunteering. Mm-hmm. We are always looking for volunteers. So we have a tremendous group of in-house volunteers we have volunteers who work 3 shifts a day in-house, who give tours to new guests, who show people around the house, who explain Pittsburgh to them, because a lot of these folks are not from Pittsburgh or might never have been to a large metropolitan center.
Right.
And our volunteers do just a tremendous job. And even if it's just, we have guests who come back to the house every day who might have had a really tough day in the hospital, and our volunteers will sit with them on a couch and just listen.
All right,
put their arm around them.
I got to get this in before the break because I kind of alluded to it. You've got a lot of kitchen room, a lot of space.
Yeah, we do.
Some stations that people can cook. So come on, you got to tell me about this.
So, well, Sarah knows I love to cook, and when I do tours of the house, whether it's me and our colleague Chris Bell or Sarah, and we're touring people around the house, my favorite thing is take them into the kitchen. So we have a great communal kitchen. I think it was the former, I'm not sure, it was something else when it was the courtyard, and we turned it into this communal kitchen with 5 Viking stoves.
Oh my.
An enormous island, and they all come together around food, and they cook together, they make lunch together. We provide a free, hot, healthy breakfast every day for all of our guests. We do that, but lunch and dinner, and then to augment that, we have an amazing group of volunteers, corporate, collegiate, fraternity, other nonprofits who come in and cook dinner about maybe 80 to 100 nights a year.
Wow.
Right.
For
Which
the
we would like
entire
to do
house. They come in about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they prep, and they cook for everyone in that. So as many as 200 people they will cook for. I don't want to start down the list of who they are
A lot.
because it would take me too long. But, again, they are amazing volunteers. And, again, these folks are coming back from a long, grueling day at the hospital, and they come in and they don't have to cook, and they see someone making it. It's great.
All right, community room to host activities, special programming, on-site and near off-site parking, all sorts of incredible things. We're going to come back, one more segment. Again, get those tickets, familyhouse.org/polo, September the 6th, Heartwood Acres. We'll be back.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Before we wrap it up with Sarah Suresh and John Plant, Family House, that again, the event September 6th, Heartwood Acres, their 42nd polo match, familyhouse.org/polo. We've been talking about all the amenities, and we're going to go over the event and everything you need to know. But what about medical services? Does Family House provide any medical services?
No, we do not. So we rely on our healthcare partners to do that. We certainly, can call 911 or engage as we need to. We're right across the street from Shadyside Hospital, but as an organization, we do not provide any clinical interventions.
So I just want to make sure that was clear. Now, I want to talk about this event. Of all the things, 42 years ago, they decided to do polo, and I think it's so unique, and I cherish it each and every year that it rolls around. Tailgating is a big part of Pittsburgh sports. Mm-hmm. How do you tailgate at a polo match?
Well, it is a show.
It is
a fashion show. It is a party. A couple of our big sponsors have actual event planners do their tents. And I'm talking like custom bar and floral arrangements and tablecloths and chandeliers were in one of them last year.
Wow.
But then you also have families who come and they bring their folding table and maybe they have Giant Eagle or another grocery store kind of,
fried
catering,
chicken.
fried chicken.
Yep.
Some people just come and park and take advantage of the food trucks and the other things that we have there. But I will say with the tailgating, I think comes the fashion. There's definitely a feel of a Kentucky Derby. There are dresses, there are hats, there are suits and jackets and just lots of flair, which really also I think just makes it fun. It's something unique. Like, where do you get to go and dress like you're going to the Derby in Pittsburgh?
It is. It's very fun. Yeah. I broke out my seersucker coat last year for the first time in a long time.
Was it canary yellow? No.
It was a beautiful day, thanks to Sarah. She orders the weather. And we seem like we're on track for that again. So
this is the perfect
nice.
time of year to have it.
Well,
it is.
I have to credit the founders. They picked this weekend, always the Saturday after Labor Day. So just mark your calendars every year. The Saturday after Labor Day is Family House Polo because the Farmer's Almanac in 1983 said that is one of the best weekends for an outdoor event.
So we've stuck with it.
That's why they were all so successful, these founders, because they were always thinking outside the box. Every little detail, right?
Yep. They were thorough.
Let me give you guys a couple minutes just to, praise the Family House and what you all do and why it's such a incredible mission and how people can be a part of the journey. And if you need a place, this is the place. John, you first. Go ahead.
As I said, I've been at Family House for 2 years, and in that short period of time, it already seems countless the number of stories and the impact, the positive impact that we have on people's health journeys. It's sort of like Make-A-Wish for kids. These are folks facing difficult times, whether it's financial, health, and we're doing something to ease that burden and make that journey easier, which in a sense assists them in that journey. And I see it day in and day out. And Sarah will attest to that as well. So it's tremendously rewarding. It's sometimes very difficult to see people facing these challenges, but it's also very heartening to see the health care, the treatment that they get at our amazing healthcare system in this city, and the fact that we can be a part of that and support that, it's just really, really rewarding. And I think every one of our staff members, volunteers, board members would say the same thing.
Listen, before I let Sarah jump in here, the bottom line is psychologically when you feel at home, and this is more than a hotel, right? And you have people around you that want to talk about what you're dealing with because they're dealing with the same thing.
Right.
Psychologically, that gives you an upper hand. It gives you an opportunity. And everyone will tell you, getting over certain things, a lot of it has to do with what goes on between your ears. And this is a pleasant experience that people can use to hopefully get to that happy ending.
Yeah. Well, it just shows, I think, again, day in and day out, it shows the importance of compassion and empathy and caring and love.
No doubt. I couldn't have said it better myself. Sarah, jump in here. Go ahead.
You know, in addition to everything John has said, one of the things that really stands out for me is the ease that we can give families who are unfamiliar with Pittsburgh or unfamiliar or uncomfortable in a city. I grew up pretty rural, town with no stoplights, and we have a number of folks who come from, the very central part, the rural part of Pennsylvania. And so to understand what it was like to have family that had to come to Pittsburgh for medical care and the fear that just comes with driving into the city on top of the fear that comes with whatever diagnosis or journey that they're on, I just can really empathize or, understand that to just take that off. They just have to get to Family House and then they can park and we have the transportation and we have the people and they don't have to worry about it anymore. Because I know even myself, I've lived in Pittsburgh for, almost 20 years now. And even now I'm like, okay, what is the parking situation? And I have to look it up and I'm used to it. And so for someone who's coming in that's distracted or just, going through something really tough, I think that ability to just have that home base to just be while they're dealing with everything else is just, irreplaceable.
All right, we've got 2 minutes and counting, so everything that is this polo match, go ahead.
I mean, it is a party. It is fashion. It is game. I mean, I will say I had never listened to a polo call commentator before last year, and the speed at which he talks is something else. But
He's amazing.
There's also betting. I forgot to talk about touts. So that's like betting. So you will bet on either the...
But it's not.
It's not, no. It's all for fun. But it's either the Pittsburgh Polo Club or the Potomac Polo Club, and you bet or not bet, you wager and have a good time.
Yeah.
Again,
and there's always a surprise. So last year, I think it was the Potomac Club who had an 11-year-old riding for them.
Yes.
Show off.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know.
Amazing.
That's cool.
Young guy.
Yeah.
And so I don't think anyone expected that, but he was the hit of the whole event.
The other thing
piece.
I will add is during halftime, we have a hound and hunt club come out. So not only do we have the horses for polo, we have the hunt horses and the hounds, the pony rides. So there's like 3 types of horses happening at the event.
All right.
It's just a really, really good time and something for everyone.
Quickly, go ahead.
And the great tradition is at the break at the middle of the game is you go out and you stomp the divots on the field. Everyone is welcome to come on the field, and so wear the right footwear to stomp the divots.
I'm looking for your tent. They can stomp. I'm going to your tent. All right,
you
guys.
are welcome.
Sarah Zerace, John Platte, thank you so much, and I love this event, and I'm so honored to have an opportunity to be here.
Well, thank you for having us, Rob.
All right, and I'm going to come out. I'm going to come out to Family House, and we're going to spend a little time, too.
Thank you so much.
All right, again, familyhouse.org/polo. It's September the 6th at Heartwood Acres. That's an incredible place in its own right. All right, coming up after the news at 8, Mr. Michael Bartley. It's your Pratt Pack. Good night.
The proceeding was paid for by Family House. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard on the